what I'm showing you here is making beats or enhancing your beats with Ableton Live delay. And since you can hear me now, it wasn't because I was in the zone, it's because I had forgotten to switch on my mic. The basic beat sounds very basic. So what I did was that looking at the beat alone, I see, okay, hi-hat. This hi-hat is really, really boring because it's basically... So I take a delay from the audio effects. I'm going to hide the title because you don't need to see it anymore. So I go and take a delay. If I drag it to the end, I will end up delaying the entire drum kit, which sounds a bit like a train wreck. Okay, it could be interesting. But what I only wanted to do was to just effect the hi-hat. So I drag it a bit to the left, right? So I'm inside the drum, right? And it's only going to affect the hi-hat. So does this make sense now? Now that I've actually said it. And if you hear too many echoes, then you reduce the feedback. Reduce the feedback down to 30. And if you want it to like kind of have an interesting groove between the two left and right sides, right? If you're hearing with headphones, then you switch off this link and you can turn 1 to 3 and 1 to 4. 1 to 3 and 1 to 4. You can get strange effects if you take 1 to 5. This is basically the number of 16th beats before you hear the delay. So you get interesting effects, right? So the other thing that I was saying that you can actually effect is the snare and the clap. So the snare and the clap, I think the clap is louder. I'm going to drop a delay on the clap as well. But my problem with this is that it is too much. It is not every bar should have this. So what I want to do is go and do some automation. So for this, I'll automate the amount of dry wet. I tap on dry wet, and because my automation button is on, straight away it shows you delay dry wet. In fact, I'll rename this as the clap delay so that it's very clear. So it's the amount of dry wet on the clap delay. So automation line has appeared. You can double click and you can draw lines, or there is the new function. See, I'm just going to highlight this, and there's a new function called insert shape. So let me insert a shape. The insert shape is quite interesting because it inserts a shape. So I just need to remove this. Straight away, I've got a shape that will lead me to, on the 4th bar, I will not have any delay. But I want to repeat this. So if I highlight and I duplicate, it'll duplicate the shape. So that means every 4th bar now I will have that effect. Let's hear what it sounds like. So I've now got a called like fill, automatic fill. Yes, Aisha, you're right. The delay can be used when you automate it. You can use it as a build-up. Yes, filament, yes, it is like repeating the sample, but with dynamics, because now you can actually control how much of it is being repeated. And this is not the only place you can do it, right? So remember the bass which was not very interesting. It's not very interesting because it's just simple 1/8 notes. So if I put delay, ooh, that's a lot. Right now you're hearing the delay a lot because this, when it's every 8/16, that means basically for every note that you hear another note on the next 16th, which sounds like they're basically all 16th. You want to make the delay sound different, that's where your filter comes in. So you filter the delay, so the delay only by doing this, we're making sure we only hear a certain amount of the echo, so that the echo sounds different from the actual note. You can make it even softer by reducing drive. So now it's no longer sounding like you're playing just 16 notes, because you see the bass is actually 1/8 notes on the arpeggiator, but you've now got a bouncing thing in the background, which is giving you a kind of like counter bass, 1/16 and 3/16 behind. Now of course you could do the same thing with the arm. To make it more obvious, I'm going to reduce the rate of the arpeggiator. I'm reusing the feedback to reduce the number of echoes. And this time, instead of making, I can move it a bit more muffled. And now you can hear that in the sounds that now the sounds are in the background, right? The little echoes are in the background and they're a little bit more muffled, so they are creating a different texture behind the arpeggiator. That's delay, right? So that is how we can actually use Ableton Live's delay to enhance the beats. So that's just one. That's just one way we use Ableton Live delay to make the beats. So in the next section, I will show you another effect. The next effect we're going to use is Ableton's auto filter. So Ableton's auto filter can also be used for this. I'm going to switch off all the delays so that we don't confuse ourselves. And let's see what we can do with the auto filter to make things more interesting. Okay. One of the things that the auto filter, without having to draw in all your automation, is to use something called the LFO, which is built-in auto filter. So let's look at auto filter. We drag it in, and again I'm going to drag it in only onto the, I'm sorry, drag it wrong place, only onto the hi-hat, right? Only onto the hi-hat. And I'm going to switch on the LFO. The LFO will make the auto filter change over time, so that automates the sort of like the change happens regularly. And I'm going to make this happen over a period of every bar, 1:1, 1. And I put how much I'm actually going to turn up the resolution. Okay, so at some point there will be auto filter happening, at some point there'll be none, at some point it'll be max. And it will follow this shape here, which is a sine wave. So let's hear what it sounds like on the hi-hat. Without auto filter, with auto filter. If I increase the rate faster, then you would hear it like this. I could also set it to a random. You'll also notice that it's doing an auto pan, so it's left to right as well. This means that you can also use this on something like the bass. Switch on the bass. So for the bass, I moved the auto filter a bit lower down because most of the bass section is lower down. I'm turning up I really want to hear the musical effect of this auto filter.